Start over. Forgive me.
Ready? I'm blinking. You blinking?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, press. 1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9.
10.
Yes,
Hey girl, how you doing today?
Hey. How you doing, Sheila?
I'm well.
Ooh.
Okay, I sound much better than I did. I listened back on that episode. I said,
You
wow.
sounded like a snotty nose. That's why I was like, you sure you want to record?
It's giving some nasty ASMR. I know those people were like, gross. Disgusting. But I'm feeling better today.
Amen.
Started this week off right. I took a walk. While I was walking, I had this realization about myself because I was hype walking, right? I was like, I took a walk in Wissahickon. There were trees all around me, and I was like ready to go tell everybody what to do. And I realized,
Wait, what do you mean with their lives?
I was ready to like call Rashid and be like, nigga, you gotta go out in nature. You gotta go walk. Like, I'll be walking. I'm a hiker now. Like, I'm a naturalist. I know all these plant types. And I realized that I think it's a Sagittarius thing that I do one thing one time and it's what I'm an expert. So whenever I say I did something, no, I just did that shit one fucking time.
Wait, what else does this apply
I was
to?
hyped. I was like, Rashid, like, you ain't getting enough vitamin D. I went out one time. This is the first walk I've been on this entire year.
Wait, what else does this apply to besides the walks? Anything else?
Exercising.
You not sticking with Heather?
No,
When's the last time you worked out
that
the
fucking wagon? The next week, I said,
girl, I'm realizing it's a slow progression. So I keep getting up at 7:30 now, but not working out, but I'm getting up at least.
Good.
So I'm slowly teaching my body, like, all right, you're gonna wake up. Today I got up. You would have been proud of me. I meditated. I stretched, and then I got anxious about the day and started to meal prep because I knew I was going to be able to cook food. So I didn't work out. I'm gonna try to do it later, but just slowly build the habits. You can't do it all at once.
Girl, because I saw a FaceTime at like 6 a.m. I was like, is this
for me?
Is my phone glitched?
I didn't FaceTime you at 6 a.m.
It was
probably a text. I'm telling you, I'd be up in the morning now, trying to be.
Well, I'm also an explorer now, and I'm going to go explore Atlanta. I'm also like a world traveler as well.
Please,
so I'm going to Atlanta. But
wait,
no,
when are you going to
I think
Atlanta?
in 2 weeks I'm going to go to Atlanta. It will be the beginning of November before my shit gets really crazy for the holidays. So I'm just going to go for a weekend. I have a little bit of work that I'm going to do, but I'm going to create a lot of space to just like explore. So
are you driving?
No, I'm going to take a plane.
You going to fly to Atlanta? Who you staying with? Where are you going?
I'm going to go.
Why am I invited?
You want to come to Atlanta?
Will I go to Atlanta? Wait, it depends on who you meeting up with. Never mind.
Complicated.
You about to meet up with somebody I dated and I already put it together. Keep going.
But I would love some referrals from folks. Where to go? I really want to see boutiques. I love boutiques. So if you know, like, oh, this is dope boutique. It does not have to be Black owned. It can be Asian.
They gonna send you to like Nene Leak's boutique. Watch.
Oh my gosh, she got a boutique.
You got to be more specific
Nene,
about
right.
the boutique she wants this.
Yeah, no. I know exactly.
It's tricky
like,
in Atlanta.
Around the way girls' taste is garbage.
Trash.
I will say thank you to everybody that has reached out in terms of the brown lip color. I have to just make some time for me to go out and really get that going. But we're on our way to getting the 90s fine look together. Ooh. Appreciate y'all. But yeah. Maybe even meet up with people. Like really go crazy.
Oh, you should. Be like, yo, y'all, I'm here. Pull up. But also be careful because the world is crazy.
Be awkward.
Well, you
I don't know if I'm ready
gotta
for that.
have discernment about that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but
Yeah, no.
possibly. You seem a little tense.
I seem tense.
Yeah, you seem a little tight.
Really? How are you getting that? I'm
When you
smiling.
first came-
Can't you
when
see
you-
I'm smiling?
When you first came on, I was like, "Oh, is it okay?"
Yes, girl.
Yes.
Well, one, I've been getting up earlier and I'm exhausted. So-
That's what it is.
No, it's not just that. It's that. So I will say this. Yesterday, I paid for a yoga class, ran out the house, and missed said class because I was stuck on work calls that made me work late. And that's been a pattern, and it's been very frustrating. And so I was sitting down, and I like math. I was doing math, and I was like 35. That's how old I am. And I was like, wait, am I at half my life? Close to it. Because I was like 35 plus 35 is 70. And there's people dying at like 85. So I'm close to half my life. And I thought, wow, I need to make some changes because this isn't how I want my life to feel. And I keep saying it. And I'm at this place and I'm sure I'm going to be working through it on Around the Way Curls. Y'all will get sick of me. But I do feel tense. I do feel tight. There's a project specifically at work right now that has just got me spinning in circles. I'm the lead on the project and we cannot get client alignment. And it's just, I'm watching the timeline dwindle and I'm just like seeing that I'll be working on the weekends. I'll be working over the holiday. I'm seeing it and there's no way around it if we don't get alignment soon so we can kick this project off. And so I'm living in the future, but I'm also like, it's part of my job is to plan for the future. So finding that balance of not doing that in my personal life is difficult. But I'm really frustrated at this time in terms of how to manage my time and all of my competing priorities. I've mentioned on this podcast that I'm working actually on another podcast that I can't talk much about, but we recorded this week on Tuesday. You and I recorded on Monday, and you know I edited that evening to get it out on Tuesday, and then went and recorded at a studio on Tuesday, and now we're recording on Thursday. And Wednesday, I just wanted that yoga class and could not get it. And that is really frustrating and really hard. I want to be partnered, and I'm just like, they're not going to break into your house. You have to go out. You have to be social, and you should be. Even if you're not partnered, you should be enjoying your life. And so I picked up, again, the how. The how. Notes on the great work of meeting yourself. How do you say her name? Help me. You know her. Come on.
Yarsa Daly Ward.
Yeah, Yarsa. It's the first name. Yarsa Daly Ward. I started reading this book a little bit ago, and I put it down because it was giving me I was having an existential crisis. But I feel like I had a breakthrough when I was in that recording booth. And I told you about that anxiety attack I had. And I knew that it was rooted in me not living in alignment. And so I picked this book up, and I swear to God, I underlined this stuff. Let me just read it to you real fast. Suppose you were to uncover piece by piece what it is that makes you feel most alive. We are held in an uncomfortable space. The chasm between what we really want and what we have come to understand is our reality. Aren't we ready for something else? Well, absolutely. We have been ready since we arrived. That's what all this discomfort is about. We feel cramped and discontented because we sense our higher purpose glimmering in the distance. We've dreamed about the possibility and the depth of new, unfamiliar states. We are blessed with an outline in a dream or a wish. And then we wake up and kill our possibilities in the morning. We still dream though, don't we? We are gifted with a sure pathway into ourselves, night after night. And then she goes on to write, I do not claim to know anything remotely new, but I too would love to remember more of my wishes little by little. And so I'm going to do this work. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to be honest. But right now, my struggle is coming from, I know what I would like to do, but financially, I don't know how that works. And so all of this makes complete sense to me, right? I get it. And then we talk about it on Around the Way Curls all the time. And it's a longer conversation, but that's what you're sensing, is that I'm on the precipice of this thing and like embodying this change that I want for my life. And I'm not sure how to execute it and still be able to care for myself in the same way that I'm able to now. And maybe some of this discomfort is in like we're building Around the Way Curls. The other podcasts might get picked up by a network. So money will come. And so maybe this is just the hard work to get there and then I can dip out. But this in-between area right now, maybe the work is to just really accept the fact that something new has to come. But the execution, I can't figure it out.
I'll say this. I definitely think that you are in a space of like transformation and change. I'll say I feel like somebody's knocking on my door.
Jojo? You okay?
If it happens a third time, then
your front door or your bedroom door?
My front door.
Okay.
And you know how my building is, like,
yeah,
people just won't come in. Anyway, I'll say that I think it's a nigga downstairs. I'm sorry. I'll say that our thoughts and our energy is the fuel, right? And like, no matter what car you're in, whether you're in a Benz, whether you're in an electric powered vehicle, whether you're in a bicycle, whether you are walking on your own 2 feet, what is making that thing, whatever direction you're going to be going in, your energy is what is directing it and fueling it. So wherever you go, there you are. And I know the how, I don't know this particular passage, but I think what is going to help you and what is going to loosen up and help direct you is actually managing with the energy that's coming up versus the
planning
versus
and execution.
You wondering about the bicycle, saying like, I'm in this fucking bike when I really need to be in a Benz. Because I know mad people that do creative work. I know for my own self, I know mad people that do creative work and make over 6 figures that still deal with this same sense of tightness, the same sense of anxiety, the same sense of insecurities, financial, the same sense of like, oh shit, the pressure is really on because it's like, I have to keep this thing going now. And this way that I showed up before is the thing that keeps me going. So I think now early in your journey to always be clear that like your energy, your thoughts, how you manage your energy, how you manage the stress is what you need to meditate on and learn to be uncomfortable with, or like, yeah, you have to do the alchemy with that. Cause you already know it doesn't matter wherever you go, there you are. But, and I think you're interfacing it in a way that feels really healthy though. And like, your awareness about it is growing, but yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you for that. I'm going to ask you to, as you see me, if I don't see myself, I ask you to help me see me. Does that make sense?
Amen. Yeah.
Okay. The way I just said it was kind of stupid, but here we are. All right. Well, that was an update for you, but let's get into some voicemails. this is part of like my favorite time of the week. So let's see. I have the first one right now. Please play.
Hi, ladies. So I'm just giving a call back. I have tried to leave a voicemail in the past, but the recording was really bad. I just want to say thank you from the depths of my heart. I just listened to the episode around touch, and this weekend I went to a healing wellness retreat that was all about music and healing practices in kind of like a festival style setting. And there was a workshop on touch therapy massage. And when I tell you that, like, at the end of it, I was like, oh my God, I just paid someone to hold me. And literally, he made me feel so safe. It was not sexual at all, but it was really like just holding space for me and me holding space for him. It's the intimate, platonic, nurturing, communicative, social, natural way. And like everything was just put into perspective. So thank you guys so much for sharing those resources. Also, I just wanted to say that I'm just a huge fan of every single recommendation that you've had since I started listening. Thank you, Shanti, to Conscious Loving. I'm getting into that now. The Artist's Way. I am returning to that book. I watched the Blue Valentine movie. I mean, just beautiful. Lovecraft Country, Antoinette, amazing. Just like, I am obsessed. The Artist is Present documentary was phenomenal. Shared that with a lot of my fellow colleagues. That Jay Shetty podcast with Gabby Bernstein. I mean, on repeat. And now I'm currently getting into Between Two Kingdoms and Conscious Loving, which I already mentioned. And then recently did the Kintsugi practice. So I say all these things just to say that your recommendations are sticking. You ladies are like friends that I never even knew that I needed, but I'm so happy to have. And I just wanted to share that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for helping to just empower me from a distance, help me expand mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And I'm sending you guys love and light always. I mean, beyond the words, truly. Thank you.
Oh my God. Wow. First of all, I want to know this retreat you went on, this wellness retreat, because I want to go. And I didn't. What was the one she said? The Artist is Present. What's that?
The woman where she stared with her, just stared at people, looked them in their eyes, and
with
then,
my girl,
yeah, that was
Maria. I forget her name.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm terrible. I never know the names of anything. Yes, that is and that was something that Black put me on too. So shout out to him. Also, how did you practice kintsugi? Like what? Where are you finding
like,
these
I
things?
have gold all over me now.
What? Super dope. And I have to say, I did not come up with Lovecraft. I fell in love with it, but Shanti put me on the Lovecraft. Y'all.
Oh, you did? For real?
Yeah, you were the one that was like,
I gotta
there's
watch
this
that again.
show. I've watched it 4 times. You know me. Once I get on something, I'm on it. But sis, thank you so much for that. And if y'all, if this is not a testament that we need some fucking ad dollars, because when we say some shit on here, people go and do it now. Come on, Target. Jasmine's calling me. She gotta wait. Okay, we have
not
another.
Target, not all this deep stuff. Not come on now, Crowell.
They got
come
the
on
bag.
now, Ciroc. Let's go.
I'm mentioning them because they got the bag and they're uplifting Black voices. Shout out to Jay,
They're
Kia,
doing
and Fran.
a really good job of that, actually. For real, for real.
And y'all better check out Jay, Kia, and Fran have some stuff coming out that is sponsored by Tarjay. And it's beautiful conversations. And they shot it at Full Court Pump Studios, which is Mandy's studio. So it's just a lovely little family going on over here. All right, we have another voicemail. I'm going to play that right now.
Hello, ladies. My name is Caitlin. I've called before. I just got done listening to the Help Me Help Myself episode, and when y'all started talking about how nobody wants to feel incompetent, I literally felt that. I work in healthcare. I started training, and I am the only black person on staff at the sport that I work at. So oftentimes, like, there may not be things that I understand. Everybody has a different way of explaining stuff, or everybody has a different name for things. And instead of asking for help, I just figured out do it myself because through societal trauma, generational trauma, being a black woman, I just automatically in my mind feel like that they already see me as inferior to them. So I literally just figured out that way I don't even show that like I have the slightest bit of misunderstanding because I just already don't want to feed into the narrative and that I have in my mind that I think they have me and they probably don't even think that. So, and sometimes I feel like it can hinder me in a way. It can like hinder my growth and learning because I am trying to figure it out instead of just asking for help. But I feel like it's just the luck of the cards, I guess, like the draw of the cards, things that I need to make change in my mind mentally. But I just felt so seen, and I just want to thank y'all for that, and thank y'all for the episode, and just keep doing the amazing work that you're doing. Okay, bye-bye.
Caitlin.
That's real as fuck.
Yep.
And it's not an illusion that those spaces, most spaces, have biases against biases. Ciao. Against.
I don't know. I know it's not biased. Wait, it's don't ever feel inferior. I don't want you to feel inferior, Queen, but that was crazy. Not you being all serious and saying that.
Not me trying to give you an academic reference because in the medical of the biocide and the octopi, 57 niggas was discriminated against.
You just upset me. Oh my God. Okay. Why you right? And I'm being stupid. Biases.
All right,
isn't
listen,
it?
sis, that's a real motherfucking thing. And people lose, there's some serious consequences to it. It's not just like, oh, this nigga thinks I'm dumb. It's like people lose their jobs. We know black women in healthcare as patients die because of the biases that exist.
Biases.
I'm trying to be serious right now. So for you to feel this way, for you to feel sensitive around it, for you to try to protect yourself is really, really real. Give yourself some grace. White folks be white folks, but also there are some that if you could find an ally, if you could find somebody that you really trust, you can find somebody that you can open up to and be a kind of mentor you right now. You find a way to, that's the person that you go to, you know, even if they're not in your particular workspace, but they are somebody else. If there's another black person that is older or has in the same profession, you got to seek them out to get the help that you need. But those concerns are real and there are deep consequences to it. And I'm so sorry that we have to navigate in these ways where it's like, can I just be a fucking human? Can I ask a question? Shit.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't have anything to add to that. I am so grateful that where I work, I have 2 very safe spaces. Shout out to my boss and shout out to Simone.
Shout out to Simone. So Simone walked up to me in that party and said, "I'm Simone." I said, "Hi."
I love her. Simone,
I did not know who you
know
were,
how far
Simone.
she lives? Simone lives like 2 hours away and drove in there. And that's why she had to leave early because her mother's birthday was the next day. Like, shout out to her. I can't believe
I
she
loved
came
it. Someone said, "I am Simone."
Her cute ass finger wave. I said, Simone, this hair is cute, girl.
Yes.
Anyway, I gotta tell her that. I gotta text her that. All right. But Caitlin, shout out to you. That's a really great point, and probably something that we did not touch on that episode. So thank you for that. All right, one more, y'all. One more. Ooh, come on.
Hi, ladies. Ashanti Antoinette. I added an A to Ashanti's name. I apologize.
Thank you.
Hi, Shanti. Hi, Antoinette. It's Wendy calling again for the third time. I love you. I love y'all both. Y'all are the best. This is like one of my favorite podcasts. So thank you for all that you do. I was calling in reference to 209, episode 209, and when you brought up the Me Too movement, sometimes it's just best not to say anything. Sometimes it is the best thing you could do is not say anything, even though it eats you up inside and you're filled with hate. Sometimes it just doesn't make any sense to say anything. I had a situation that happened to me when I was 27, and somebody at work, not a supervisor, but somebody who was supposed to be helping me with my job, tried to make me put his penis in my mouth. I don't even know if we could say that here, and thank God it didn't happen. I'm so blessed in that nature, and I've gone out of my way for the past, I'm about to be 46, so for 18 and a half years to not see this person. And when I did, I would be like enraged and I would be sad and ashamed because I felt dirty because he was a pervert. That doesn't even make sense. And 2 years ago, it all came to a head. He called my office. I picked up the phone, and I finally was like, "Don't ever call here because you're a pervert. You're nasty." But it was more colorful than that. And I have this deep voice, but when you look at me, you can tell I'm a woman. So I kind of think that he didn't even realize that he was speaking to a lady, but that's fine. So now it all came up because he filed a complaint against me for what I said. And the worst thing about this was my supervisors looking at me, like sizing me up, like, they would never tell me that they don't believe me. But the looks that I got, like, why would he say that to her? Or why would he do that to her? Because I had to write out what I was alleging occurred. And that, like, I'm not an attractive woman. I get that. I understand that. But it's not about how people look. A predator is a predator is a predator. I was molested at 7. I wasn't sexy to anybody. I wasn't attractive to nobody. The man was a pervert. That's just what they do. So it was just, sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut. It don't even make sense to say anything. Bite your tongue till it bleeds. Bite your lip till it bleeds. Especially if you're not pretty, because nobody will believe you. And, well,
she got cut off, sadly.
Wendy, not me. Ooh, losing the umph in my body. Fuck. Again, the intersections to these idealistic, what do you call them? Ambitions, right? Like being able to ask for help. But how do you ask for help as a Black woman? How do you ask for justice and consequences as a woman that doesn't have the pretty privilege? God forbid that was a white man that did that shit as well, Wendy. Like all these intersections to, it's just for me, it's just a reality check for all of like the woo woo and they're like, we need to, but it's like, how do I do this
thing?
How does this happen in real life when the consequences and the stakes are high? I'm sorry, Wendy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's, I think, yeah. Wendy, I remember her call. And I remember there was sadness there too, because she was holding space for me, and the pretty privilege kind of thing came up. It was not in an accusatory way, but she was just, it's not the first time that she's referenced herself as not being an attractive woman. And that breaks my heart too, because pretty privilege is real. and standards of beauty are real, but God damn it, I don't want you to walk around and let that be your narrative. Let anybody else's narrative of you become your own. And this is an aside from, you know, the situation that you talked about. I just want that for you in general. Like, I want to know that even I've never met you, but just your calls have brought me comfort and have affected me deeply. And you are very attractive in that way. You are someone who I'm very curious about, and someone who I feel is probably so kind and worthy of so much more than what you've been given. And I'm sorry that this happened. I think that your story highlights, like Shanti said, how difficult it is to manage. And like the Me Too movement feels like a lot of progress has happened. But there is this underlying thing of like, not every woman has that.
I mean, even
the benefits of it.
Yeah, even so-called pretty women face the same, like, not being believed. I think, again, the energy is the thing that moves the thing. And I feel in myself, I feel in both the callers, like a resignation that I hope y'all like wrestle with every day, because yeah, there's no reason to be resigned in these fucked up things, you know?
Yeah, it's because it can feel aspirational, and I know, like she said, bite your lip and bite your tongue until it bleeds. And
No,
I don't want that for us, and I don't want to make it sound like it's easy at all to speak up. I don't want to dismiss the reason why you're saying it, because it's so real. But God damn, I'm just saying I don't want that for us. I don't want that for you. Because I'm hoping that even the work that you've done at that, wherever you're working, might help someone else in the long run. Not that you're a sacrificial lamb or you should be taking that on, but you're bleeding either way. The silence makes you bleed. Mm-hmm. You want for me, it's like
either way, yeah.
It's like you gonna at least fucking hear me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what maybe someone else can call and offer something for this. But yeah, that breaks my heart, and I'm just really sorry, and I hope that you know that you're loved here. That's it. That's all I got. Right?
Yeah.
Ashe. All right. Well, we are going to take a break. Because,
collect ourselves, woosah.
Yeah, let's collect ourselves.
We need to get high after this.
Yeah, we actually, listen, community is life. Shanti says it all the time. Wendy, you're a part of our community, and every caller, Caitlin and the other sister, she did not say her name. Thank you. You're a part of the Around the Way Curl community, and we have a special guest that's actually a part of the Around the Way Curl community as well. She actually hit us up in a voicemail and shot her shot and was like, "Yo, I'd love to come on and talk my shit. I'm a podcaster. I work in the cannabis industry." And she is going to take us through basically a crash course on cannabis. It's like Cannabis 101. So come get high with us. Come smoke our herb after these messages. Bye. Okay, stop recording. Wendy breaks me. Fuck, yo.
So much. It's important. I love that, though. I love the way that just comes and puts a little pin in it. Sounds good, but
right. It's aspirational. There's so many. Anyway. All right. You ready to do this other one? And we are back. So I picked this up last week because this lovely lady hit us up and was like, yo, I'm trying to come on your podcast and talk my shit. And we were like, word, what you trying to talk about? And she said, I'm trying. Well, first of all, she gave us a laundry list of all the items. And we
a dissertation, if you will.
She gave us a dissertation. She gave
syllabus.
us outlines. I said, wow. So we landed on that we were going to today talk about cannabis and psilocybins. So I am always a fan of people introing themselves because I don't want to even attempt to define who you are. But Kim, Kim is a dope human being, and she's an Around the Way Curl listener. She's a part of our community.
That's important to highlight. Listener
Definitely
turn
want
guest.
to highlight that. So I think I would love for you to let us know who you are. I would love to know how you found us as well. And then just give us a little overview of what we can expect for the rest of this episode.
Well, first of all, thank you so much because yes, guys, I am a stan. I love Around the Way Curls. I listen every week. And so just hearing, I just finished last week's episode and you were saying you were excited, Antoinette. And I was like, yes, it's the energy for me, straight up. But anyways, guys, my name is Kim, AKA Kimbo. I am a podcaster myself. I'm a little bit I do everything, so the list goes on and on. But I podcast. I have Kimbology, my brand. If you guys are on their Patreon, you see that I'm wearing my merch too. I'm a girl.
Y'all.
It's super cute.
I appreciate that, Shanti, because you got good style. You got your show, you got your your brand, and you got your shop. So that makes a lot to me. Thank you. But I'm the girl that loves weed. I love cannabis. It's ingrained in me. It's ingrained in my spirit, my lineage, really, because my family, it's all, it's been up and through it. I believed all the propaganda before, but now I'm just fully immersed in her. I love her. I love her spirit. I love weed. I love it.
Yes, gender.
What's Kimbology?
That is my brand. So, and my podcast, and it's where our pillars are meditate, masturbate, medicate. So I love it too because I have guests on and I get to dive deep into what they listen. I've gotten people to tell me how they masturbate, what they watch, I know I be going there. So I'm one day I'm gonna have you two on. It's gonna be juice. It's gonna be
Say
juice.
less.
I can't wait.
We're gonna be corny. We're gonna be we envision our weddings and get happy.
The people want to know.
So,
yes.
Wait, is that this week? We was talking about Xavier, Xavier Thick. Anyway, that's
with the porn star. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Soul.
That's a whole nother episode because we can get you in there too. But yeah, so my podcast surrounds those three pillars. We do have a recycling of the news segment, which we talk about the bullshit that is going on in this motherfucking planet. And yeah, we have my co-host Becky is a BBW Latina. She's awesome. She's an esthetician. So, we talk about, all the things. We've been friends for 15 plus years. So we love doing it together. And we have guests on too. We've had I've had the stars from Southside, the TV show HBO Max.
Okay.
They've been on, yeah, they're friends of mine. I was on I was on Southside because I was a pole dancer on the show. So I know they're the homies. They're from Chicago. So
They are Emebit's friends, Antoinette.
Oh,
do you
really?
Know? So they're a couple, right? It's a husband and wife, correct?
Who you talking
I
about?
made that up.
Actually, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
I was thinking Shanti.
Southside. It's a comedy, right?
Southside, yeah. So the guys, so the twin boys, and then the two guys, so there's Sultan, who they're the two main guys on the show. They work for the repo company or whatever, or that one rent a center type of situation.
Yeah. So Bashir Salahuddin, the two cops.
Oh, are
Bashir married. Yeah, they're married, and Chandra is close friends with a girl we went to high school with. Anyway,
bad.
Okay.
It really fucking
a great
is.
show.
Oh, it's
Once
amazing.
I know what you're talking about, I agree. It's a great show.
No, yeah, guys, please support Southside. It's a great show, and that's the homies. So, but yeah, no, that's so. I love that. There's always that, like, what is that, 6 degrees of separation type shit.
Yeah,
that shit's
definitely
wild. That shit's wild. Like, well, the fact that I'm sitting here talking to y'all on your show is fucking wild. But I manifested this shit. Okay.
Listen,
girl.
Listen,
We are happy to have you. Let's get into it. I don't know. Do you want to ask the question? Like, because you have your outline. I love it. Like, when I saw this outline, it just brought me so much joy. And I added a first question. I don't know if you want to lead.
Yeah.
How do you want this to flow?
You guys lead. I mean, it's your show.
Okay.
I'm a guest. I can't wait to feel like a guest on Around the Way Curls. Like, that's gonna be.
So
lit.
I wanted to ask.
Yes.
One, I wanted to just level set and just first all of us explain what our relationship with cannabis is and has it changed over time or not. I can start. I will say that I don't smoke because I don't know how to. And the couple of times that I've tried, I've hurt my throat so much. I used to have a vape pen, and then I actually had like scarring on my lung from pulling it too hard. A mess. And I was cough something up. I said, this is not right.
Girl!
It was a hot mess, but I don't know how to smoke correctly. And I don't have anybody that will not make fun of me to teach me. It's childish, I know. But I sing, so it makes me nervous about just having any kind of smoke in my throat. But I do have tinctures.
Okay.
I have balm for pain, joint pain, and I also have edibles, which happen to be my favorite. And so my relationship with cannabis definitely changed over time. I was one of those people that was like, that's a drug, that's gross, you're going to go to jail. Why do you have to live your whole life high? What are you trying to escape from? It was just like pure judgment. And I looked at it as like this. I wasn't as bad as the folks. What do they say? That it's the gateway. It's the gateway drug. I wasn't like that. I was like, all right, I gotta relax. But I was definitely someone who scoffed at it.
Yeah, I was too. I was really too. Because like everything you were like saying, I'm like, you know, I've been around it my whole life. So right now, just to give a little context, like how I even I'm here talking to you guys professionally about it. I work in the cannabis industry. So I work in the professional cannabis industry, which I don't know. It's something that I've battled with because there's still so much we have to do to get, you know, in this field, in this industry, you know, in the sense of like social equity and releasing prisoners, you know, from jail. But I joined because your girl, during the pandemic, you know, I didn't have a job. I came from the liquor and spirits world, but I always did marketing. And I was like, you know what, where am I at every week? Which was the dispensary. I just went to get my weed every week. So I was like, what's y'all doing? So I got a job in there. Was a bud tender for a while, burnt out because that job is intense, especially here in Illinois. It's very much like get in and out, get as many people in and out as possible type situation. So burnt out with that, but then found my way into becoming I'm the regional trade marketing manager for a big California cannabis company. And I run all of Illinois. So I'm a busy girl, but I have a whole state by myself. Wow. So yes. But I love it. You know, I'm the face of the brand here in Illinois and it makes me really happy. But when it comes to weed, my life has been such this fucking roller coaster. I can't even believe that I'm working in this field because I felt so negative about it. Right. I was like, nah, that's the devil's fucking grass. Like, even though my brother was the plug the whole time, like it was always accessible to me. I always had it around, and my dad, I have a very fond memory of my dad drying weed in our basement. So he was using it medicinally because he had glaucoma, but he also smoked and shit too. So, you know, but then he was drinking it in his tea to help.
Got it.
When you say the devil's grass, so were you like religious at a younger age? Were you taking it from like a religious standpoint?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a super religious upbringing at all. No, I just believed the propaganda. Like it was going to make me crazy. You know, it's a gateway drug. Like I just, you know, your girl. Yeah, I believed all of it. And it's bullshit, guys. It's fucking bullshit. I had
similar experience as you did. Although I never had a negative viewpoint towards it. But growing up, I had two hippie parents. They were always smoking. I'm probably 100% sure my mom probably smoked while I was in her belly. Like, it was just a lifestyle. I think when I was younger, I was scared around it. And I would say like younger, like kindergarten, first grade. And then as I got older, it just became just a way of I was actually curious about it because I had all older siblings as well. My sister's 5 years older than I. She was kind of a badass in a lot of ways. She was smoking. She gave it to me. So I think the first time that I was exposed to smoking, I was maybe like 10 or 11 and I never got high. It didn't work. But then I tried again in the neighborhood with the neighborhood kids and I was maybe like 12. So from like 12 to like 13, I was rolling blunts and like smoking, stealing my dad's weed. I was smoking very, very early. And then in my teens, as I got older, my relationship with it changed completely because I didn't like the way that it made me feel. It went from like fun and giddy, you're cracking up, it's a relaxing thing to causing me to feel really, really paranoid and nervous and heart rate. And my body felt too sensitive. So I am jealous of people that can smoke weed. Like I kick it with people and they just roll up like, all right, we're gonna roll up before we do this. I love smoking actually. I love the actual act of smoking and like rolling it up, the tactile nature of it. But it makes me not like, I don't like the feeling of it at all. And everybody's like, oh, you got to find the strand. And I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go through so many bad highs to get to have a good time. I do find though, when I'm not in a social setting and I do smoke, I think it's the intensity of it. It makes my thoughts more pronounced and hard for me to like, it makes me less reasonable in a way. Like if I have a bad thought, it's like, oh shit, I believe that shit. Like this is fucked up. Everything's fucked up. And I'm not able to calm myself down. But when I'm by myself and I don't have so much stimulation, I actually have a lot of breakthroughs. I'm able to like, my mind is going very, very quickly and I'm able to see things that maybe I try to ignore when I'm sober, or I just don't see it the same way. I don't think about it as deeply. So if and when I do it, it's definitely intentional. Like, all right, I need to like disrupt something in my day to day. It's not for recreation for me. And I wish that it was. I want it to be.
That's so fascinating because, there's still so many studies going on when it comes to like cannabis and like also just like all the different like CBG, CBN, CBD, like it's just being studied like there needs to be more towards it, but obviously because it's federally illegal still, there's so many limitations on the studies, even with children. Like there's so many great, amazing documentaries like the like Weed a Kit and like all those like where they have like where these moms are traveling, fucking states to get their baby that has, severe Down syndrome or something like, their medicine. But if they were caught, like they're thrown in jail, right? Because, like I looked up some of the laws because obviously the laws are very important, right? Because and they can be confusing, right? People think that, I don't know, like, because when I was living overseas, like they were like, oh my God, Chicago's a war zone, blah, blah, blah. And like people are now thinking like, oh, you could smoke weed everywhere. But it's like each state has very specific laws. And that is why POTUS is trying to like push the narrative and be like, hey, governors, let's start to like get this fucking going because there's so many stubborn states, And so for you, it's like, I think that truly because you were brought in so young that like, our prefrontal cortex is still like, right. It's still being made. Like our brains are still like developing till we're like, what, 24, I think. Right. Yeah. So imagine a 12-year-old, like smoking heavily, I can see how that completely disrupt your like body chemistry, because the cannabinoids come from our bodies, right? Our bodies naturally make them. But like if you're introducing more of it, in your system so young while you're developing, I can see how that could just like skew things all up. It does, honestly, truly, like I think you can get back there, Shanti, but it will take work. And I don't think you're really willing to like do it.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's a practice. And there was a moment that I was committed to it. Like, and it's also similar to what we'll talk about further in the discussion, but I have to microdose. I just need one hit.
Yeah,
I just need one hit. Then my mind is like, I'm not overwhelmed. It's like,
so let's talk about that since
edibles.
Let's talk about that before we get into like microdosing and all that, so people can really understand. Can you take us through like a cannabis 101?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Because
like,
I'm over here assuming,
like, the very basic.
Yeah, I'm assuming everybody knows, and I'd be forgetting. Like even on my show, I'm just like, I should break this down a little more because, like even one of my best friends doesn't know. So when it comes to like cannabis, like the plant itself, it is a plant that grows. I grow it. I'm a cultivator too. I'm a medical patient, so I do grow her as well. But like THC is a part of the plant that's the part that like, well, tetrahydrocannabinoids, if you want to know like the technical term. But that's what's going to get you high, right? That's that formula that's going to like, that's what you feel the effects of. And
that's naturally, that's in the plant.
Naturally.
No one's adding anything, no additives or
no. And
chemicals.
So that, I love that because honestly, truly, Antoinette, I thought for my whole life that people are like in a fucking lab making weed, like
a lot of people do. Believe it or not.
Truly. Yeah. When I realized that I could just take a fucking seed and put it in my greenhouse and fucking grow her, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is what everybody's fucking tripping about? Right. Literally. Like, I could not fucking believe it. I was like, y'all are tripping over this? It is a plant. It is a beautiful plant at that. And, I think, when it comes to cannabis, marijuana, like she has many names, right? Mary Jane, all that. If you have that introduction and like, it depends on how you're introduced to it too, right? Like if you have, where you're in a setting and you're like, oh my God, I'm in like, a back house and just smoking. Like though it's made to feel like you're doing something wrong, right? Because you're like, oh shit, like I have to hide, and I deal with this a lot with my partner because he had that growing up. He's a 41-year-old Puerto Rican man, so clearly he's got a lot of trauma there. I'll fucking bust that shit out. I'll bust that shit out wherever and be like, I work in it. You know what I mean? I get paid to smoke weed. So it's a little different. But when it comes to like cannabis, there's a lot to it. It's a plant. It does grow in the ground. If there's soil, it's a weed. So like it does, obviously if you want to grow good weed and not Reggie, it does need love and nutrients and special, care. But essentially, you put that shit in the ground, it's gonna grow. And then there's different stages. Sorry, I can't say that word. Stages that it goes into. And then once it hits the flower stage, that's when that's the mother lode. That's what you want to smoke. However, only female plants give you that, not male plants.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. So then can you talk about like the different strains, like sativa, indica, like all like the different types and their effects and what they do, like the hybrids?
Yes. So that's correct. And so that's sativa, hybrid, indicas is going to be like your basics, and it comes to like the experiences you want to experience and like what types of weed or what types of cannabis. Sativa will typically give you more of an uplifting high, more of you tend to feel it more in your head and behind your eyes a little bit. Some of it gives you energy, focus. And so that's like sativas. However, sativa, there's like only a few strains that are like true sativas, like Jack Herrera. That's like a true sativa strain, an OG strain. And then you got hybrids, which is like your middle ground. So it's going to be like a balanced high between sativa and indica. Some people don't want to lean either way. Some people don't want too much energy. Sometimes they feel a little paranoia. So I don't know, Shanti, when you smoke sativa, if you ever felt that paranoia, that could be from smoking maybe a sativa strain. Plus, your body chemistry is not going to like feel the same. Like what I smoke might feel completely different to how when you smoke it. So you got to listen. You got to listen to her. She's talking to you. Like you got to form a bond, a love. You know what I mean? Like, and then once you find that relationship with it, it's magical. And then you have indica, which is typically in the couch, right? Indica. It will, that's the whole. Like when I was a bud tender, I was like, in the couch. Just think of in the couch. So like. That's going to be that more sedating high. You might feel it all over your body. You might feel that couch locked feeling where you're just like, ugh, like you can't move. And you got typically, I feel like indicas make you more hungry. I always get the munchies. Yeah. But it's more complicated than that. Sativas can make you hungry too. So, but yeah.
And then there's also CBD, which people will get confused.
Absolutely.
As
CBD.
well.
I love CBD. CBD gets a bad rap because there's so much bad CBD out there. But CBD CBD is basically the non-psychoactive part of the plant. So you can have the plant have both CBD and THC in there, but when you get CBD, you're extracting just that cannabinoid to get that, but it's non-psychoactive. So the feeling, you're not necessarily feeling high, but you feel relaxed. Like your body's relaxed. So yeah, that's legal. That's federally legal and everything too. So THC is when it gets complicated. It gets a little tricky, if Antoinette would say it.
Tricky.
Get a little tricky.
To just be clear, we can't go over all of the laws, but it is important for folks to, as we're discussing this, you're in Illinois, Shanti's in PA.
Yep.
I'm in New York. You have it written here, New York, 21 and older, 3-ounce possession. You could smoke wherever you could smoke tobacco, and you can grow up to 3 mature plants and 3 immature plants, 6 total. Illinois, 21 and older, 30 grams, 500 milligrams of THC possession. Only medical patients can grow up to 5 plants. Yes. PA, any amount of marijuana in your possession, whether 1 gram or a pound, is illegal.
I'm sorry, Shanti.
I can still be smoking, so.
But
now if you have a card, then you're okay.
Oh, okay, medical, yeah.
Okay, so just to be clear, don't jam yourself up, sis, in any of this conversation. But moving right along, I'd love to talk about, since Shanti just brought that up, medical, like the card, medical versus recreational.
Yes.
And how that is defined and differentiated.
Well, here in Illinois, I can get deep in that just because, that's where I'm at. And I am a medical patient, so I do know those rules pretty good. Like, especially when it comes to getting the card, it's not hard. It's not hard. Yeah, I mean, I can give you a doctor that will just, because honestly, truly, if you have anxiety, which in this world that we live in now, everybody got it, you know what I mean? Like, how can you not, So if you can just go to your doctor and say, hey, I have anxiety, I can't sleep, like maybe chronic, insomnia. Those are just some of the, that's what I use. That's kind of what I have problems with. Those are my ailments. So anxiety and insomnia. So that's how I got my card. And with the card, you're just allowed, you can buy more weed at a time, as opposed to like, if you are a recreational adult use consumer, you have limitations, but it's only daily. So it's a daily limit. So I can go to the dispensary and based off of my medical card can buy for me 5 ounces of weed. But that's an allotment that is given to me in like a 2-week period. So it what do you call it? It resets every 2 weeks for me.
Got it.
But the daily limit for people when it comes to like flower, say for example, like if you're a recreational person, you come visit Illinois, you go to your dispensary, you can buy like 1 ounce a day of flower. And
how much do you have to advocate for yourself? Because my mom, I love my mom, but my mom blows my mind often. My grandmother was dying. She was not going to be, the medication that she was getting at the time was just to manage the pain that she had. She was just taking this cocktail of medication. My mom was like, why don't you just give her a cookie? And I was like, why don't we just give her a cookie? But doctors don't often say like, yo, why don't you just go to your local dispensary, especially around elderly people, especially around people that are younger. It feels like you have to be in the know and you have to advocate for that. And it feels like there's so much you have to, just again, all of the miseducation there for that to happen. Because my aunts and everything were like, oh my God, that's crazy. We'd rather give her 15, medic pills that have crazy side effects versus just giving grandmama a cookie.
Right.
So like what is that like the advocacy to get your medical card? And like, how do people even know that that's a possibility in so many ways?
Great question. When it comes to the stigma, I feel like, we're getting there. Here in Illinois, when I was a bud tender, I would see, older people come in and buy edibles and buy the older people, they love their topicals and bombs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
they think
they
it's
do.
safe.
Yeah,
They're like, let me get a little bomb. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little rebel because I'm putting on my skin. But like, then they would graduate to like tinctures, right? Because that's a little tinctures are, guys. You know what? Let me go into like, these are the different ways that you can also consume, right?
Yeah.
So nice, great segue, right? So topicals will be typically balms, lotions, serums, anything that will be penetrative through the skin. And then you can graduate to tinctures. Tinctures are what Antoinese likes. She likes, so do you put it underneath your tongue? Do you do that?
I used to put it in. I have so much tincture here that I don't use because I actually love the edibles now. But I used to either put it under my tongue or in my tea.
In your tea. Okay, good. The best way so the onset time can be hit. Onset is like the time it takes to like hit your system and you feel it. It's the quickest. If you want to do a tincture and you want to hit that onset time the quickest, put it underneath your tongue and let it absorb, but don't swallow. Just let it absorb into your glands. That's sublingually. And then that'll hit you a little quicker, and then you can swallow it down. Because if you ingest it, it's going to hit you more like an edible. So it's going to be longer. That onset time is going to be longer. So, yeah. So you're going to want to for the tincture, so that's specific. But yeah. So there's the tincture, and then they would graduate to say an edible or like a beverage, right? Because they feel like, again, it's safe. I feel like I'm not doing something super bad because I'm eating a gummy or I'm eating a chocolate or I'm drinking this little drink, and then you also have smoking flower, right? I'm also saying it. Am I saying it in the way? No, I had edibles first. That was me, but we'll get into that later. Look at me. I'm high as fuck, y'all. Just letting y'all know.
Take your time.
Yeah, I am high as fuck, and I always am. But I'm a functioning stoner, guys.
Yeah,
I'm a functioning stoner for sure. Yeah. So then you also have flower, which you can smoke, right? And then you also go into like concentrates and like vaping, right? So that's like the vape pens. You see people like they put that little like contraption on like a battery or whatever, and they inhale. Right. And the fumes are hitting you. So that onset time is super quick too. Smoking and vaping are super quick onset times. It's almost instant, right? As soon as it hits you, you feel the effects. And then you have dabbing, which your girl don't do.
What is dabbing?
What is that? Like a needle?
Girl, it gives me crackish. It gives me crack. Like I don't like when I see people dab. So people have these rigs, and like it's a concentrate will be in a form of maybe like a sauce or a liquid, and then you put it in this like rig, and then it melts, and then smoke vapor comes out of it, and you inhale it. It gives that energy. However, people say it's like the purest way because it's just the rosin, it's just from the plant. But like, I don't know, your girl's not comfortable with that. Plus, your tolerance level will go through the fucking roof if you dab. So yeah, you're gonna have to dab harder, more to get that high. Expensive. Yeah, your girl's not trying to do all that. So, but that's an option. People love dabbing. And then you have there's dabbing. Let's see, topical, sublingual dabbing, smoking. I think that's it. Actually, yeah, that's it.
I think you got them. Yeah,
I got them all. 6. Yeah.
So those are the different ways, and so you'll see older folks come in and they graduate to different types, more and more.
To dabbing, then they just melt in the.
No, I don't.
She don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see granny dabbing. However, I'm like, I don't know about like most younger people like to dab. I would say, like, yeah, not me.
That may be question addiction, because I think that's a lot of people's, if they don't know about marijuana, they think, oh, you're going to get addicted. My kid's a pothead. You're addicted to marijuana. Like, you know, what is that narrative? Because I do know people that smoke all the time, that there feels like there is a dependency in some way, and to name it anything else to me feels like, but it's not like a crack addiction. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So to be honestly, cannabis is used to help with the opiate program in Illinois. Yeah. So you know how some people can get addicted to opiates and like prescription pills,
Yeah.
which is so awful. That shit's the worst. Like, so I that shit's crazy. Yeah. People that are just, I mean, it's wild, you know, but like, unfortunately, it's in our society to like, okay, I'm sick. Let me go to my doctor and the doctor's going to prescribe me pills. Like it's a norm here, you know, it's a norm in our society. So unfortunately, I feel like people are misdiagnosed and then they become addicted to these pills and prescriptions, these opiates. So cannabis actually is used to help with those addictions and to wean them off. Now again, that's controversial because some people be like, no, like I actually, you know, like you can like, because I don't think you can be addicted to weed. I don't think that's not how it works. You know, like I personally myself, I don't have those addictive qualities, and I can speak on this because my partner is actually sober. He's an addict and he's sober now 4 years. So for him, that quality, that he's got that part of him that just wants to like he's addictive. He's got addicted personality. But like cannabis, it's like, for me, I don't need to smoke. I want to. I like to do it, you know? And I think it helps people. Like I said, I think it helps wean people off of those maybe, because again, it's a plant, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's not being cooked in a lab and it's a literal plant, you know? So.
But do you think that there are some people that have dependency on it in a way that's not the healthiest?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone. Probably, you know what I mean? Maybe, you know, I wouldn't, I can only speak from my personal experiences and what I've seen. And I'm sure, you know, people are addicted to sugar, you know,
Oh,
and that's,
yeah, I was about
you
to
know,
say that.
Talk about it.
Yeah, I am. Shit.
Hello. Hi. My name is.
Right. At me next time. Like, no, that,
So
I mean.
what's the, I know a lot of people are like, it's a tool. It's a tool in your toolbox. It's something, it's an aid. It doesn't solve everything, but it's truly a tool to help you, to help some people function. I know a lot of folks who are like, it makes me more creative. It helps me with my anxiety. It helps me sleep. It gives me energy. It helps me focus. So it's a tool. And I think
Helps with
that, like you
depression.
said, with depression, I can say that I've used it in that way as well. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
to play around with it.
So for you, Antoinette, and you said that you like edibles.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you have a lot of control with your high? Because that's the thing.
No.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. With the edible, I am very selective about when I have an edible. If I'm driving, I will not have an edible. There's no way in hell, because I don't partake enough where, like, so my tolerance is low. So even if I have an edible, it's a quarter or a half and I'm high.
Okay.
And I also know that I'm not going to be as in control. So if I have ever had an edible around you, you know that I really trust you. Because I'm not the person that's going to go to the party and have an edible. Like I had an edible for my birthday party, but I was around basically family, and somebody had my keys, and it was my birthday and I was good. And even then I was like nervous to do it, but I just had like a piece of a piece. You know, so it's that kind of energy that I have. But for the most part, when I'm home, after a long ass stressful day of work, or if I'm feeling, I have never had sex high. Ooh, and I really want to.
You need to.
I know. Unfortunately, by the time I started to even get comfortable with THC, I was not partnered and I wasn't having sex. So that is another time when I'm like, if I am feeling like I want to be intimate with myself, I'll have one.
Yeah.
Or I have done like yoga and put like my Himalayan salt lamp on and had like the lights down low and been high and like just done body movement in that way. And I will say it's a whole other experience, but I am not that in control. It is a full body high where I'm like buzzing.
Right.
And
I want to teach you how to smoke because, like, you have more control over it when you smoke, like when you're ingesting it that way. Because, I mean, when you take that edible, you better just you better just say, please, I hope it turns out okay. You know what I mean? Especially if you're not, like, privy to, like, how everything is. Like, I'm very confident.
I've learned the hard way.
Right. Yeah, we all have that bad experience, you know what I'm saying, where you take eat a whole cookie or whatever. Yeah, we all have them. And then that by the way, guys, if that happens to you, if you are too high, there are ways to be or to help that, to calm that.
Please tell us.
Yes. So, and I learned this after literally I've had my own, like, whatever. Anyways, so you can CBD. If you have anything that's pure CBD, that will counteract that high. So, and it'll calm you down. Also capsicum. So like peppercorns, pepper, that helps too. It'll help, like,
what do you do with the peppercorn?
You chew on them, eat them.
Oh, that is painful.
But it'll work. It'll work. If you are so uncomfortably,
but I ain't high no more. I can't feel my mouth. But I am not high.
That part.
No. If you ever had that desperate ass high where you're like, I don't want to be high anymore, please, I'll do anything. Yeah, like you'll take them peppercorns and just smack them.
But that's why I think it's so important too that, especially if you're having the tinctures or the edibles or the dabbing, you have to start so slow. The first time I ever got high, I was with Shanti at Afropunk, and it was the worst high. I have never in my life experienced.
How could you have? How could you have? It was your first time. You were around all that energy.
And I would have been every ex of my life.
Oh my God.
Every ex of her life. I'm not lying. I was like, wow, what? You?
Everybody. It was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Only you.
It was crazy.
Only you be high the first time and then just run into all your exes.
It was so
sweating profusely, like nervous. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even function, but I think it would be a disservice if we did not, my political ass, if we didn't talk about, because cannabis wasn't always illegal in the U.S.
Nah.
Right?
No.
It wasn't. So because I know that Biden is like, hey guys, hey governors, we got to push this through. And part of that is like, that's going to help with taxes. And we know this, right? It's going to generate money. Mm-hmm. But, I'm sure that the guys that he's going to push it is under decriminalization.
Yeah.
And so I just want to, if you can, I'm not telling you that you have to be a historian, but if you can provide any insight on that journey from like being legal to not being legal to where we're at now, and that like this discrepancy between, white folks making millions of dollars off of it and
buku money. Yeah.
Black folks being locked up for an eighth.
So it breaks my fucking heart, honestly, truly. Honestly, like a great documentary that you guys can watch that will give you the whole history on that does a really good job. It's a documentary on Netflix called Grass is Greener. Honestly, I learned so much from that documentary just in itself, like the true history behind it and why it was demonized. And so like basically to give you guys a little backstory and history, and this is, again, you can watch that documentary. It's fantastic. Snoop Dogg's in there, Killer Mike, all that. They make appearances. But basically like in the jazz era in New Orleans, like back in the 20s, right? Like back in the day. This was like when the famous jazz, musicians like Louis Armstrong were like, honestly, truly, like you said, it helps with creativity. They would smoke weed and it would help with their creativity for their music. So a lot of musicians and blues, like that's what they use. That was like their connectivity to their, like to unlock all the creativity in their brain, which I can definitely also say that I'm a dancer and a choreographer and I do pole dancing. So like that helps me immensely as well. So literally back in the day that was used, and the people basically like people didn't like, not people, one person in particular, Harry J. Anslinger, he was the father of Prohibition, and he was a racist. And he came up with the whole notion. you know what they say though,
Hater, yo.
right?
Joe is shit, boy. Damn. He's
You
drawing.
call us basic creativity?
But it's like literally like, what the fuck are you getting out of this? Because we have, but you know what it really was though? It was really because the white women were hanging out with the niggas and dancing and fucking and procreating, and they couldn't handle it now because they gonna get us.
Strikes again.
They gonna get all of us.
These biracial children.
Are you biracial too?
I'm half Thai, yeah.
Oh, girl, look at us. I live. Okay.
Yeah, so us, they didn't want this, y'all. They didn't want all
Tricky.
that. Nah. They were like, hell no, we can't have this. So, so he was the father of prohibition, and then basically the Marijuana Tax Act in 1937. That's what prohibited, the prohibition. That was when it started. Like, okay, and then as it went on, with President Nixon. Right, he was also just like a hater. He was the one to schedule cannabis as a Schedule 1 drug, which is in the same category as like heroin, LSD, ecstasy, meth, which is like wild because it's like what shouldn't be on there, but it's still on there. It's
and
literally
cocaine is a Schedule
2. Yeah,
to be very clear.
Oh my god, yeah, that don't make no sense.
I wonder why that is. Anyway. Go ahead.
I wonder. I mean, I'm sure it has to do with money and whatever, but
it's because white people use cocaine.
Yeah.
Using meth
Nixon
too,
was
though,
probably
internet
using it.
and heroin.
True.
And
I'm not gonna lie though, but I know a lot of black people that do it now, and I'm like,
oh yeah, a lot of black folks are using cocaine.
I'm like, yeah, a lot of people of color.
I feel like that. Listen, I know a lot of black folks that back in the day too was using coke.
Yeah.
But
do you go off,
like
sis?
It was like it's still kind of like the Hollywood thing. It was in those circles, and I'm sure Nixon had it around him. Stop these politicians, having to function the way they have to function and sell their souls. I have to be high too.
I mean, the thing is, it was about racism. It was about because of who was doing it and what it brought. It gave us, obviously it was something we enjoyed, right? And, and that fear that was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? You're going to like spread this around and like, it's like, people are going to catch on and be happy. And I've gotten so much like more in introspective. I've gotten so much more like inquisitive since I've started smoking weed. Like, it's made me be more like interested in just certain topics. Like I'll go through fucking like deep dives and like certain, like I want more answers. I want more knowledge, and they don't want that shit. If we really smarten up, guess what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? We're going to stop relying on their asses. So they're going to be like, oh shit. Well,
tricky.
But yeah, it's tricky. But yeah, right now though, I mean, this is still an ongoing, obviously, as we know that like, President Biden just announced that basically though with that he wants to federally decriminalize it, but he also wants to release prisoners that are in jail for non-violent marijuana
and expunge their record.
Yes. And I was reading articles about this too, and like the numbers seem so low. I can't give you the exact numbers, like at least in a sense of like, on the federal level, but you have to keep in mind that like it's each different category. So like these are non-violent, these are people probably that got caught with, like you said, a joint on them or anything, but if it's like, if you're selling it, if you're, distributing it, things like, it gets tricky there where like, nah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cause that's a whole other category, it's a whole other category.
But you would think that in decriminalizing it, you would be doing that because we're actually selling it now and making a profit. So them selling it, I don't know.
They making the money.
So
they want to make the money. They don't want us to make the money. They want to make the money.
Joe Robinette.
I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there. Because the thing is, I love that he addressed it because, we vote soon, right? And
November 8th.
Right. I'm on it. Like, I can't wait to go vote. And I think it's so important but I like that he's pushing that as like the front of the top, because like he wants these governors to really address it and say where they stand in marijuana, and like what, because there are a lot of stubborn ass states that just like, like do not want to even go medicinal.
he also know. I mean, it's strategic too. He also knows that he has to work for that black woman vote that saves his
True.
life every fucking election. So
Don't we save him each time, Lord?
every time.
But,
Listen,
yeah.
I'm looking at the time, and we did not get to shrooms, but I don't know if you're available, like in your schedule, because I'm kind of obsessed with you. I would love for you to come back and do like a part 2.
Yeah.
Where we get into shrooms. You just have to give us your schedule.
Yeah.
Like really happy to do that because this is like super duper valuable, I think. And I think that a lot of people are going to enjoy this because there is so much stigma and there is so much confusion. And what I'm realizing is the culture around cannabis is rich. Like, it's not just this, so many people just like, oh yeah, weed is weed. I'm gonna get high, watch Friday, sit on the couch, have some chips and fall asleep. And it's like, no, like I see you on this outline. You have like, you know, current use, whether it's like spiritual purposes,
we didn't even go into we didn't even go into me growing.
We didn't even go into growing. Which, if you can, girl, look at that, Joe.
It's a whole culture. It's a whole subculture. It's
if you can, feel free.
lifestyle.
I just wanted to make sure that you knew. Like, I don't want you to feel rushed because we can come back and have you back for the.
I'd love to. I would absolutely.
Yeah,
love
I would love that.
I will say, Antoinette, I am not an expert. You know what I mean? I want to preface it by I want to tell you guys, like, I'm not an expert on shrooms. Like, I feel
you haven't yet to do shrooms, right?
No, I've done shrooms a handful of times, but like, I'm just not like,
don't come on as a homegirl and talk about it, girl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to. Yeah, because I'm happy to. I can tell you about how I felt and my experiences with it, and like,
I really want to.
You do
really want a journey.
You do. Yeah,
nobody will journey with me.
Mama, you don't need to do it with other people.
I do. I can't.
No, we're gonna go into that. Do you know Terrence McKenna, Kim? Do you know about Terrence McKenna?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Okay, we'll go into that. We'll go into that because he advises people. He calls it the hero's journey.
Okay,
and it's to go big or go home kind of thing. Like,
and he encourages.
I wouldn't recommend that for internet. But it's the idea that when people are scared around shrooms, it's because we know that our performance of insanity is really fragile anyway. We all know we like a little bit like on the brink, and like to go past that threshold and lose that control feels scary. But he's like, no, you got to go through that portal and to do a mega dose and to go in your room, turn off the light, close your eyes, and trip your balls out and see where you go. And he's like, Ram Dass was tripping balls before he became who he was. Yeah, he's like an OG, like, this is the way. I know what's going to happen now because of my trips, my journeys that I've taken. He predicted in 2012 some shit was going to happen. So just crazy white men doing drugs and telling people how to do it.
Why are you like this? All right, wait. Tell us about growing, please.
Oh my God, growing weed is amazing, guys. I'm a medical patient, so I can legally grow. But yeah, if you're on their Patreon, you can see. Look at this baby right here. Yes, wow. I grew her.
What's the name?
This is Runts. This is the strain.
Aww.
This is a very, if you're going to get into growing cannabis, Runts is a great strain to start with. It's very forgiving. It does, even people that don't have a green thumb could probably grow her. But yeah, no, I love it. I got a greenhouse. That was like my first, I was like, I want to grow outside.
When you say you have a greenhouse, what do you mean?
Girl, I bought
like
that from
a
Walmart.
Real greenhouse?
Yeah.
Wait. You bought it at Walmart, so it's in the house. It's the small. How big is this?
No, it's an actual it's like a 6 feet by 6 or 8 feet by 8, whatever. Yeah,
and you got it at Walmart. Really be having everything. The way Walmart, you can go in there and get anything.
You really can. We built that shit, and it's not the sturdiest, but she's holding on. I've had her for 2 winters now. So
and it's in the house. It's indoor.
No, it's outside.
It's outside. Okay. So New Yorkers, sorry, but go ahead.
But I grow outside only in the summertime. I don't grow in the wintertime.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So I start this year. So this month is Croptober. So I have been in trim jail. I have been in trim. All I've been doing is this. Been trimming weed. It's been, yeah. So, but like, I started my plants in March, and then I am now harvesting in October, and it's not even over. So when it's in this stage, I still have to cure her. So she has to live in this jar for a while, at least a month, while she kind of like almost like ferments, like she's like curing. So the terpenes are getting stronger. So basically, like if you look at the plant itself, and I'm gonna do this for the list for the Patreon. So if you see it,
looks like sage.
Yeah, I mean it's beautiful, you guys. It's just a plant. It's just a plant. Like, but she's amazing, and like so literally like if you look at it real close, it has like it'll have little beautiful crystal looking points, like little crystals, right? And those are like trichomes, and trichomes have a little head on the top. And so if you ever see that dust that comes off of weed, that dust, if you ever seen like Jade, you know, grinding her weed and like all that dust that comes off.
I love that you referenced her.
I mean,
Shout out to you, Jade.
I went to her when she was in Chicago, and she did a pop up. So I went, me and Becky met her.
You went to her in Santana's pop up.
I did.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta tell her.
I had the sloppy toppy nachos. They were fucking everything. I dream about them. Good. I live for them. Like me and Becky.
She made them for my birthday.
I saw, and I was jealous. Because I was like, damn, the nachos were fucking good. But anyways,
good.
So if you see that dust, that's like the heads coming off, and that's very potent because that's where all the THC lives. Okay. But yeah, you take that, you grind her up, you know, and that's what you smoke, you know. But she needs to like age first, so she's got to get a little older. Like, so for people that are like weed heads, there are like literal awards. They're called Cannabis Cup awards and things like that you can win off of like your, like when you grow and like the best strain and all that stuff. And they say that the best weed, like the Cannabis Cup winners, like they age for about 6 months. So kind of like wine.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. Like, it's
I feel like in some years we're going to look back and it's definitely going to be like wine. It's going to be people.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a whole thing.
That's what I mean. Like a cannabis like sommelier being like, oh, look at this one, guys.
Truly, I'm so
getting hints of this blueberry.
Right. Oh, yes. It's getting cinnamon and lemon.
Hey,
and, you know, right.
That's the vibes. Well, Kim, you are quite the pleasure, I must say. Yeah, like I needed your energy tonight. You have no idea. Before we go or anything like that, I want you to tell people where they can find you, where they can find your podcast. Tell us what your podcast is again. Give us all the information on you. I want you to plug, and I want y'all to go support her because she's dope. And there's so much more to talk to you about.
Oh my God.
The pole dancing, you keep dropping that in there and then just running away from it.
The
but
pole
I'm like,
dancing.
Come to me. Come to Chicago. Now the listeners
we need to go to Chicago.
Yeah,
not now. It's too cold.
It's cold. It's cold. Yeah, no, come because you guys, I am a pole dance instructor. I've been pole dancing for like 8 years now, and I've performed. I've done competitions. I've been to like 20 plus studios all around the world. I've done competitions in Australia. I've won. I've competed and I've won titles.
God.
I love it, guys, and like I want to teach you guys the pole dance so bad.
The studio.
Not right now, but you know, I'm manifesting.
We should have like an around the way curls like
that would
be
a group of the people.
Yes.
It's giving like a live show, and then that's a component of it. Let's all get on the pole.
I don't know if I'm trying to do that for a live show.
You'd probably fuck around and be really good, and I would be irritated. And
Shanti, yeah, well, you know, you guys both used to dance, right? Or no?
I did. No.
Yeah. Oh, Antoinette, you're gonna be.
But my upper body strength is trash.
You're fine. Now. You're fine, girl. I got you. I could build that shit up, you know.
Okay,
but anyways, to plug me, yes, guys, I do have a podcast. My name it's Kimbology. Meditate, masturbate, medicate. We are very like-minded. I'm a part of the Around the Way Curls stand-up. So if you like them, you'll like me. And so come on over. You know. Also, let's see.
What's your IG handle?
So I have Kimbology podcast. That's like the one, and then I can send you guys all my links so you guys can put them in your details or whatever.
Please.
Yeah, and then I have my personal one is Kimbo_ish, where you can see me twerking these ass cheeks on my stories.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm always on there dancing. Internet, when you played WizKid, girl.
When I played WizKid.
Yeah. Well, Essence song on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And you put me onto that, and I'm like.
I didn't know WizKid?
I didn't, girl. I did not.
Girl.
And I put that shit on, and now we've been doing choreo to it. Sickening, girl. It's
honey,
like
he has a catalog.
That is. What's your sign, Kim?
I'm a Taurus.
A Taurus.
Yeah, but I have a lot of Gemini placements. My ascending is Gemini, and my moon is Gemini, so I'm all over the fucking place. So, yeah.
All right. Well, before you get out of here, you have to do our rapid fire question.
Okay, I'm down. I'm here to embarrass myself. Yes.
Oh no. Do you know
you've heard these this many times and you still don't know what's what? Let's go.
I'm a biracial girl from Chicago. Like, yes, I don't. I grew up with an Asian mom, so that's gonna be like.
Oh, this is about to be tricky.
It's gonna be very tricky, but okay.
Chauncey, you gonna ask? I got them pulled up.
You can then go. Oh,
okay. So you give
you know the rules. You have 3 seconds to answer. No explanation, no questions. Just go for it.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Malcolm or Martin?
Martin.
Generational wealth or familial happiness?
Familiar happiness.
Jay or Nas?
Jay.
Mac or Sephora?
Sephora.
Palestine or Israel?
Palestine.
In the light or in the dark?
In the light. Let's see these ass cheeks move. Come on now.
Prince or Michael?
Michael.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Marriage or long-term commitment?
Marriage.
Trader Joe's or Whole Foods?
Trader Joe's.
Voodoo or brown sugar?
See, I don't know.
Family or career?
Family.
A seat at the table or lemonade?
Lemonade.
Nicki or Cardi?
Cardi.
Evolution or creationism?
Evolution.
Jollof or rice and peas?
Jollof.
Missionary or doggy style?
Doggy.
Protection or pull out in prayer?
Protection. I don't play like that. Nah.
Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic?
One mic.
Love Jones or Jason's Lyric?
I haven't seen either one of them.
Oh,
I know. That's fun. I'm excited for you. Your first time.
Sir or Rumi?
Rumi.
Lisa Bonet or Nia Long?
Oh, Lisa Bonet, because I've met Nia Long and I have opinions about that.
Oh, ciao.
Yeah.
Bell Hooks or Audrey
Scorpio,
Lorde?
that's all, Kim. She's just a Scorpio. She can't help herself.
True. Bell Hooks.
Make your man a plate or have him get his own?
I'll make him a plate.
Nuck if you buck or Annie up?
Nuck if you buck.
9/11, inside job or terrorist attack?
Both. Shit.
Rihanna or Beyonce?
Rihanna! But I love Beyonce too.
Biggie or Pac?
Biggie.
Erica or Jill?
Jill.
Angela Davis or Angela Rye?
Davis.
And read a book or watch the movie?
Watch the movie.
Sundress or sweatpants?
Ooh, it's turning into sweatpants now. Shit. Comfort. Taurus.
SWV or Escape?
SWV. Down.
Flats or drums?
Flats.
Very
Netflix
good.
or Hulu?
It's giving Hulu right now.
Travel back in time or travel forward in time?
Forward.
Buy stocks or buy flights?
Flights.
Prove your point or pray for peace?
Prove your point.
Fun in your 20s or wisdom in your 30s?
Wisdom in your motherfucking 30s.
And finally, love and light or money and dick?
Money and dicks, y'all. Let's do this.
She done answered everything all sweet. Marriage. I'm gonna give it a plate. Now it's love. That was money and dicks. Get out of here, girl.
Duality, right?
Duality is a thing. Kim, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Wonderful
It's such
energy.
a pleasure
Giving
meeting
podcast energy.
Yes.
Oh.
It's giving.
Very
Guys, come
It's
and find
giving.
me. Yes.
No, yeah, definitely.
And
So
if you're
we
in
will-
Chicago, come pole dance with me. That'd be fun.
Listen,
Yes.
we will have you back. We will chat some more. You are dope. I'm so grateful that you reached out. I'm so grateful I think it was the voicemail. You shot your shot on the voicemail.
It was.
Come on,
yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then for you too, I want to know you guys' like address or whatever, PO box or whatever. I want to send you guys some love.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
I love to do it. I'm gonna send you guys both some love. So email me wherever you want me to send it, and I got y'all.
Sounds perfect.
Thank
All right, sis.
you.
Thank you so much once again. Make sure y'all check him out, and we will be back next week with another episode of Around the Way Curls.
Bye.
So dope. You're so dope.
Yay! Was it
so
did
dope.
I did okay? Did I
You
you
did
know?
fabulous.
You are beautiful. You got more energy than us, child.
Weed. Let me see. Weed.
No, you told the story. You shepherded us along. It was great.
Okay, I'm like, I want to make y'all proud because I know this is
No.
your baby. This is your baby, and I'm a part of this world, and I like love all your content so much. So I'm happy to contribute, like more than happy. And I'm gonna send y'all. We're not recording, so I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh wait, wait, hold on.
Oh,